Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will wrap up our sign in and sign up views and go over Xcode Beta 2 that just came out. There were a few errors when I opened up my project with Xcode Beta 2. I'm going to go over those. Specifically, Xcode Beta 2 introduces app thinning. So you guys will have some errors with bitcode. And for those of you that don't really know what app thinning is, it's something Apple is finally introducing that iOS developers have been wanting for a while. It is basically when you upload your app to the App Store, the user is downloading everything for not just their iPhone, they're going to get everything for the iPad as well. So whether it's Retina, non-Retina displays, all of your images, everything they get. So apps are coming in big downloads. So to reduce that, Apple now came out with bitcode and some other things that they are using to basically take and say, okay, the user is downloading from an iPhone 6, so all we're going to take is the iPhone iOS 9 SDK with, the Retina images. So specifically, it will only take what's needed for that user, whether they're on the iPad, iPhone, whatever it may be. The users won't have as big of downloads. The apps won't take up as much room on phones. So it's going to be better overall. So what I want to do is go into our resume here. You're just going to click on this and we're going to go to targets, resume, and build settings. And the first thing with app thinning that you're going to see is some errors for bitcode. Let's just type it in. So bitcode is turned off right now. So I have no for everything. You guys may have yes when you open up Xcode Beta 2. That's where your errors are going to be coming from. So what you'll want to do is just set those to no. The other errors that you guys might receive will be coming from Parse. Parse SDK right now, all the frameworks, they don't support bitcode. So it's brand new, so it just came out. Parse is going to have to come out with a new framework. This is actually 1.7.5, which is newer than the last video that I did, which is 1.7.4. I just deleted all these, reinstalled them with the new framework SDK download, and I had to add in the libsqlite 3. I just added that. You'll see it says TBD, to be determined. This is just to take away the errors that you may receive right now. It's something that's required, but we can still run our app for right now and build and make sure everything's working. So I threw that in there just to get rid of all the errors. You guys might even have some errors also with your frameworks. Your search path might be off. You just might want to reset that to wherever you have your frameworks folder pointing to. And you guys can reassign that through build settings here as well. So if you guys have errors, let me know. Comment. I'll try and maybe even do a video where I can walk you through the errors you might have, or maybe I can just comment and solve it from there. So let me know if you guys have any issues with Xcode Beta 2. Okay, so let's finish up our sign-in page. So we had left off finishing our sign-up. We actually created a user and saved them in our Parse database. The one thing I said I wanted to do also in the last video was show you guys how to verify emails, which I'm going to do at the end of this video after we finish our sign-in view. So the first thing, let's go to main view. I just want to refactor something real quick. So this let current user right here, I just want to get rid of this because it's really not needed. So I'm going to delete it and just add in if, and we'll do pf user dot current user does not equal nil. This right here, just want to add in the parentheses. And that line above basically did this. So we're just refactoring. We're taking away this line that was above here and just combining it with the line below. It's more clean, neat, and to the point. So we didn't really need the line up top. So that's the only thing that I wanted to do on the main view page. So let's create a new model. So let's right click on model and new file. And from there select iOS and Swift file. And we will name this one sign in and create. So now we have our sign in model, and let's get rid of foundation. And what you want to do is type in class sign in curly braces and enter. So now we created our class called sign in. So this is going to control our sign in view controller. So let's go ahead and declare our variables below. So we want to declare var username as a string, optional. Make sure this is capitalized. And we'll do var password, another string as an optional. And if you remember, optionals just mean that the user may not type something in and it could return nil. So the next thing that we want to do is initialize our variables. So we're going to call init with a parenthesis user as a string, comma, pass as a string with closing parenthesis and curly bracket, enter. And we'll do self.username equals user and self.password equals pass. And now we've initialized our variables. So let's go ahead and go down to the second to last curly bracket and just space down from there. So that way we can have some space. So one more. So the next thing that I want to do is have a check for our empty fields. So let's call function has empty fields, parentheses, that returns a boolean, curly brackets, enter. And we want to type in if exclamation mark username exclamation mark dot is empty. We'll do double ampersand sign, another exclamation mark, password exclamation mark dot is empty, curly brackets, enter. And we will return true if so, and space down and return false if they are empty. Okay, so there's our has empty fields check. It's going to check the username and password to make sure they are not empty. So the next function that we want to actually call is function check user credentials, parentheses, and we're going to return another bool, opening closing curly brackets, and we will type in pf user dot log in with username. I'm just going to use the top one here, where we're going to pass in the username and password. So go ahead and select that one and tab over. And what we want to do is type in username and make sure this is the correct variable. And the other one that we want to do is the password. So we're just going to type in password and make sure that has an exclamation mark and close parentheses. And return down and do if pf user dot current user, opening and closing parentheses, does not equal nil, closing parenthesis, opening curly bracket, and hit return. And if the current user does not return nil, meaning that no user was found or the password and username is incorrect, then we will return true. And then if you want to space down and return, we will return false if the username and password don't match and it's not in our database. So the last thing that we want to do on this page is come back up here above has empty fields and return down 2 spaces, and what we want to call is function sign in user parentheses, and we're going to call our throws here, and we're going to call guard and has empty fields and else curly brackets enter, call throw error dot empty field. So that'll be the error that we're going to throw, is the empty field error that we had already called in our enums model. And what we want to do after that is come down under the second to last bracket here and return down and return, call guard, check user credentials, else curly brackets throw error, and this one we will call incorrect sign in error. So those are the 2 checks that we have here. Basically we're checking for the empty fields, and the other one is actually verifying the credentials and logging the user in. So let's go into our sign in view controller. This is where we're going to finish up our sign in view. So let's go up here, and next to UI view controller we're going to call UI text field delegate, and we already have our username, password, and error label. We have all of our variables set up, our outlets, and what we want to do is come down here and delete this line and return down. We want to call our variable username dot delegate equals self, return password dot delegate equals self, and that's all we're going to do for the 2 variables here. The next thing that we want to do is come down here to our sign in touch button and return down a few spaces, and the first thing that we want to do is initialize our sign in model. So let's go ahead and call that. So we're going to call let sign in equal sign in, and we want this one parenthesis, and you should have these variables already pop up for you, and we're going to pass in username dot text and go ahead and throw in the exclamation mark there to unwrap the variable. So let's type in password dot text with an exclamation mark and closing parentheses on there. Now we're passing in our 2 variables to our sign-in model so that they can use it, and we're initializing it there. And the next thing that we want to do is return down, let's say do, and we're going to do our try catch here. So try and then sign in dot sign in user, and if sign in user is successful with no errors, what we want to do is just say self dot dismiss view controller animated with true, and tab over and type in nil for completion and closing parenthesis. The next thing that we want to do is return down, and right on the second to last curly bracket we want to space over and type in catch and let error as error, type in error label dot text equals error dot description, and return. We're going to add in another curly bracket, space over, and type in catch with another opening curly bracket with error label dot text equals quotation marks, sorry, something went wrong. Please try again. Okay, so we have our default error here. So if there isn't an error that we have described, this is going to default just in case as a backup. So what we want to do also is make sure that this fits on the phone. So let's do sorry something went and then /n as a new line. This is going to split up the line so that we have two lines in case it overruns. We want the user to still be able to see the whole entire error message. So the other thing that we're going to do also is go through and make sure that all of your errors fit on the line. We had one in enums here that was pretty long. If you remember, we put in the new line here. So as I was testing, we forgot to add in multiple lines for our label. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that here right now. So if you go back to main storyboard, if you go to your label and pull up the side panel, you should be able to see a area that says lines right here, and we just want to increment that to 2. So 2 lines are available for this label. And let's do the same for our sign up view. So click on the error label and make sure this is at 2. This way our errors are going to fit on this label with 2 lines. And the other thing that I want to do is make this, let's go about 12 with the font. Let's go back and do the same on the sign up page. Okay, and that one's already set at 27, so that's way too big. So we're just going to do 12. So the other thing that we want to do is, if you remember from the last video, let's click on password field here. And you should see secure text entry. Make sure that is check marked. Just like on your sign up page, you want that to be hidden. So let's go ahead and run our application and make sure everything's working so far with our sign in page. And let's go ahead and use the username that we used last time to sign up with in our other video. So let's type in my username and my password. And notice that it's still secure, and sign in. As you can see, it's working correctly. Now that we have all the functionality set up for our sign in and sign up, we can go ahead and start that in the next videos. So let's hit log out again and make sure everything is still working as we are expecting. Before we check, we're actually going to sign up as another user because I want to show you guys how to verify emails. So this is pretty cool. All you have to do is go back to Parse, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So let's go ahead and stop building this. So let's go to Parse website. Go ahead and click on your app, and we're going to head right into your settings. And here's general. So let's go down to email, and you should see here your email settings. We're just going to use the custom no reply at parseapps.com. If you guys want, we could actually, we'll just change this. So no reply at, and you guys can just do resume.com or whatever your app name would be. And then the display name for the reply to address, You guys could do that if you wanted to. I'm not going to, but we do want to turn on verify user emails. So now that this is check marked yes, we want to come down here, and here's our mail templates. So it's going to show you right here that if you type this in, it's going to display the username or email, app name, or link. So you guys can go ahead and customize the email however you want. So right now, our subject line will say, please verify your email for, and then our app name. It's going to say hi, and you could have your username if you wanted. So let's just try that. So let's do hi, and then we'll type in %, with username, and leave the comma here, and it says you're being asked to confirm the email address with their email and with app name, and then it's going to type in it's going to show the link where they can click to confirm their email. Let's just go ahead and click on core, and we still have one user in there, which is the one from last time. Let's go back to our project and hit build again. Let's just make sure our errors are working as well too. So I didn't run through it last time, but it's not hard to do. So let's just go ahead and do something like this. I'll do Kevin2, password, we'll just do something short. So the first one that we should have that comes up is empty fields. So let's hit sign up, and it says please fill in all fields. So that worked. So let's fill in all fields, and the next one should be the email. Please enter a valid email. That's working. So let's enter in a valid email. And if you guys don't have the keyboard, the other thing you can do, I'm on my MacBook Pro, if you just hit Command K, you can toggle the keyboard. So if that's why you guys are wondering why I don't have mine, I didn't have it showing up. So let's go down here. So the next thing that we should have is our password. So let's hit sign up again. So it says passwords must be 8 or more characters, and as you can see, it's still not showing up correctly. There's probably not enough space in here, so what I'd have to do is go in and respace this. So let's just move this down just a little bit here, just a tiny bit. And hit update constraints. And this one, let's just expand just a little bit. And hit update constraints on this one as well. Everything should still have blue lines. So let's just click stop and build again. And we'll just type it in one more time to see if we have enough space here. So type in everything again. And let's try the password one more time. And there you go. So now you have 2 lines, everything's showing up correctly. This is what you want. You don't want it to be cut off so the user can't see it, because then they won't know exactly what to do. If they only seen 8 or more characters, but yet I still have checks for a number and capital letter, they don't know that. So you want to make sure everything's working correctly and everything's tested. So this is why you go back and run through everything properly. So now let's go ahead and type in what we actually want it to be, so that way we can complete sign up. So now sign up successful, hit login. Right now we have a session token. So technically the user's already signed in. So I could type in whatever I want here as long as it's not empty fields, and it's going to log me in because technically I'm already logged in, so really it's not going to matter. So really what you want to do is make sure it goes to the main page, but right now it takes you to the sign in page. So you can go ahead and type in the username and password and hit sign in. So everything's working, so let's go ahead and log out, and I'll show you guys how to check to make sure that the email got sent out, and I'll show you guys how to verify that the user has clicked the link. So let's go back to Parse, and what we want to do is just go ahead and refresh this. So let's hit refresh, and you should see 2 users. So there's the one I just used, and now you see email verified as false instead of undefined. So this means that an email was sent out, but the user hasn't responded yet. So let's take a look and find our email that was sent by Parse. So let's head over to our mail, and you should see an email that came up, and it should have your username. So that's what we put in here. So we have hi Kevin 2, and I can see my email address and the resume name. So you guys can customize this a little bit more. You guys can type in whatever you want, but here's the link to verify our email. So let's just click this, and it said successfully verified. That's all you have to do. So now let's close it and refresh again, and it should say true. So now we have our working sign up and sign in views. We have email verified. We have checks on all of our text fields, our passwords. Everything is fully functioning and exactly how we want it. So that's it for our sign up and sign in views, for our custom sign up and sign in views, that is. But Parse has another sign up and sign in view that is already created for you. All you have to do is call their custom class that actually brings it up in your view. So there's nothing you actually have to do. It's already there and designed for you. And the next thing that I'm going to do too is show you guys how to let the user log in or sign up with Facebook and Twitter. So that's going to be in the next video too, just to cap off our user sign in and sign up pages and be done with it. And then what we're going to do is move on to our actual app inside of it. So we're going to set up a game to play. I'm going to show you guys how to do some more with iOS maps, and there's going to be another page that just kind of lays out your qualifications and skills, and pretty soon we're going to have a fully functioning resume app that you guys could use for interviews, jobs, whatever you guys want, or just for fun. But we created an iOS app that we could actually package up and upload to the App Store as a legit app. So technically you guys have created a full app. So there's so much more you can do, so many more advanced things that I'd love to get into, but as we're just starting out with the basics, this is going to really help you build a foundation for creating your apps in the future. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and keep liking and subscribing my videos. I love doing these, and I really hope it helps everyone, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, YouTube.